Namaskar, I'm Prasoon Kumar and you're watching The Property Show on MBTV, world's largest real estate channel. Let's start with some interesting statistics first. There has been an interesting trend happening in Indian real estate market. Post-COVID, the demand for larger spaces grew. Obviously for the reason that all of us wanted more space, all of us wanted more recreational space, we wanted a space for a home office, we wanted more balconies, etc. That was a byproduct of COVID experience. But that also led to a very interesting trend in the market. The demand for premium to luxury end of real estate, the residential real estate market, started growing leaps and bounds. And over the last 2 to 3 years, we have seen that this particular segment of residential real estate market that has outpaced every other segment. And in a way, premium and luxury residential real estate segment has been carrying forward or has been the torch bearer of the growth of real estate over the last 2 to 3 years. If you look at city after city, all the new supply that has started coming in have been in the premium to luxury end of the segment. While what happens to the mid segment and the affordable segment is a different discussion altogether. Today we are going to focus on this interesting aspect of emergence of luxury and premium residential real estate in India. Why is it growing? What is it? What are consumers looking for? Who are those consumers? And what are some of the interesting things that are going to come in near future or next 3 to 5 years in this segment? We know international brands like Trump has entered the market, and across cities partnering with multiple developers. There are uber luxury Trump residences being launched. These are some of the critical examples just to showcase that this is one market where there's a lot of action happening. So we'll try to decipher that. And you as a consumer, if you're interested in investing in premium to luxury residential units, what is it that you should look forward to? To discuss all of this, we have got an absolutely stellar panel of speakers today. Let me begin with introducing our panel. In the studio, we have got Mr. Ashutosh Chaudhary, yes, who's Director Marketing and Strategy at Trisel Red Group of Companies based out of Noida.
Yes.
Online joining us is Ms. Helen Dorothy, who's Director of DJOS Architects. They are also getting into construction now. They are based out of Chennai. We have Ms. Gunjan Goyal, who is Director at Goyal Ganga Developers, which is one of the premier developer of Pune. We have got Ms. Yukti Nagpal, who is Director at Gulshan Group, which is one of the leading developers of NCR. And we have got Ms. Neha Garg, who is Founder and Principal Designer of Studio Jain Designs. We will have an interesting perspective of developers, of architects, of project designers to really understand and decipher premium and luxury real estate market. So let's begin with some interesting stats like we always do. Luxury housing sales is growing by about 53% on an average. NCR sales alone has grown by more than 90% in last 1 year. Magic Bricks Property Index report suggests that properties with 3 crore plus pricing, the demand there has grown from 8% to 12% of overall real estate demand. On the supply side, 22% of new supplies in Q1 of 2025 alone were of 3 crore plus properties. 3 BHK plus, a trend that I mentioned that gathered pace after COVID, their prices have shot up by more than 20% year-on-year basis. The premium end of the residential real estate market, which we define as say 1.5 crore to 3 crore kind of a segment, their demand has jumped from 22% to 31% over last 1 year of the overall demand pie. In NCR, for example, in Noida and Greater Noida, 53% of total demand of residential units is for this particular segment. And if you talk of Gurugram, well, the story is far better actually. 90% of the overall demand is for more than 1.5 crore properties, and probably you do not get supply lesser than that. NCR followed by MMR, which is Mumbai Metropolitan Region, and Hyderabad have led the pack in terms of luxury unit sales over last 2-3 quarters. So in the backdrop of all this development, let's just try to understand this market better. Let's begin with defining what is luxury really and what is premium housing really, right? So let me straight go to our developer friends. Let's start with you, Gunjan. How do you define luxury and premium residential housing?
As you rightly said, the word luxury has been luxury, premium, it's all been thrown around very loosely. And it's very important for a customer to understand that what is the ticket size that really defines luxury. People are building mid housing apartments and calling that luxury. People are building luxury, calling it luxury, and ultra luxury also is being termed as luxury. So, to talk about Pune specifically, I think it's very easily defined into three brackets, where the 70 to 1.2 crore properties fall within the mid housing segment, and anything between 1.5 to up to 3 and 4 crores is termed as luxury. Everything above that is what we call ultra lux.
So coming to you, Yukti, tell me, Gunjan is saying that in Pune, anything above 1.5 CR can be termed as luxury. And I don't think that's very different from how this segment is defined everywhere else. But what is your take? And besides pricing cut, is there any other cut that you would also want to take to really define what is luxury?
Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for this question. I think price is definitely the biggest commander of deciding whether or not this is a luxury product. But with that being said, I think in the region that we are in, Noida, I think even a price ticket of about 3.5 crore is somewhere considered in a mid housing segment, whereas luxury is from anywhere from 3 crores going up to even 20 crores. It's all in the luxury spectrum, which you rightly said, the term has been used so loosely that it's very very difficult to differentiate. This is where the other factors come in other than the price. This is what the exclusivity brings in. This is the community that defines it. In every project, there is a certain set of people who homogeneous mindset, community living. They believe in all of these concepts. According to me, a community that thrives together and believes in the like-mindedness of the property or the lux of it is, according to me, is luxury. What I'm trying to say is that there are so many developments that I've seen जहाँ पे 2 bedroom apartment भी होते, 3 bedroom भी होते और 5 bedrooms भी होते हैं. So in my definition, that is not considered luxury. That is considered a makeshift development where I want a piece of every customer. I want to just expand my market share left, right, and center. I believe that luxury is a very subjective term, first of all. But one thing that is common with all subjectivities is the exclusive factor that brings in. How exclusive is this? Is the service that I'm getting? How many people are there when I go to the sales office? When I'm buying my property, do I have to stand in a line and do all of that? Do I have to stand outside the registrar's office for 3 days before I get my turn? I think the whole process should be termed as luxury as opposed to just the ticket price.
Absolutely. And because of the gentry that we are talking about, and I do think defining that gentry also is a criteria of how you define a project as a luxury project, right? As we say, luxury is an address actually, and therefore who's your neighbor also plays a role in actually defining whether you're living in a luxury apartment or not. Helen, coming to you, from your perspective, blending the architect and the construction part, both of it together, but primarily wearing an architect's hat. Tell me, what will be your take on luxury?
Yes. So luxury, according to us as individuals, we are not just designing houses. We are also constructing more than 300 houses in Chennai. So all these are HNI people mostly, NRI customers. So they demand what they look for in a house. So most of them, they want to have a piece of land back in India. So they want to have a piece of their own space. They need a courtyard inside their house, vernacular architecture, like how they have in the Chettinad kind of experience. So all that amalgamated with the smart homes. So how do you customize their homes better? So how do you make it livable as well as a piece of, a style statement, their own masterpiece? That is the kind of luxury that people are into, right? And not just Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore. It's almost the same everywhere.
Okay, Neha, Yukti, Gunjan, and Helen has spoken about a whole lot of things that go in defining luxury as such, right? It's not really about pricing alone. It's also about the process. It's also about the exclusivity. It's also about the innovative designing coming into it. There are a whole lot of things which come together to define really a luxury living in a sense. As a project designer, how do you see when you're looking at, when you get a brief to design a luxury project, what is it that comes to your mind?
So I more or less echo with all of them, Vipti, Helen, and Gunjan, what they have mentioned. From the perspective of a designer, if I have to tell, that what the client look for or what the user of the space look for. First, I believe that space is the luxury, and the larger home's spaciousness is the most sought out luxury from the client's point of view. And it's not just on the length and the width point of view, but even the vertical element also adds on a lot of luxurious element of what the user of the space sought for. And of course, they also look for the private decks, which is attached to their rooms, which is again a very big statement for a luxury or the wellness statement. See, as Gunjan very well mentioned, that luxury is very subjective. For few, wellness could be a luxury. For few, smart technology could be a luxury. So, from the developer point of view, if asked, a space has to be integrated in such a way that it is catering to a generic requirement of the user of the space, be it on the wellness side by providing private decks or like very spacious area, or maybe there be some integrated smart techs into the houses, like voice control lighting, voice controlled your AC, security systems and appliances. I believe these are the few touch points which adds on a lot of luxurious experience for the users of the space.
Okay, so we add space, we add technology, we add experiential living to this definition of luxury. Ashutosh, what's your take?
Hi, I'd like to thank the entire Magic Brick team for bringing me up over here, right? So it is very rightly said by you that the term luxury is always being misunderstood. I will say it is totally being misunderstood because luxury is something which is like, it is, if it is meaning A for you, then it will be meaning B for someone else, right? So luxury is always misunderstood, and it has been it's very smartly has been marketed in the market, right? For luxury, if I'll say luxury is something which is very limited to the number of people, like top 0.01% people will be having it. It will be a luxury kind of thing. But just not to forget that one who is living in a 2 BHK moving into a 3 BHK with all lot of amenities, as been like detailed by the other panelists, will be a pure luxury for them because they are not enjoying that thing as of now, right? So luxury is very subjective.
So you're saying luxury is also perceived?
Yes, it is a perceived value. It is a perceived value. For someone, like Ferrari is a luxury, for someone it is just another car. So it is like, it is a perceived value that how much you are perceiving it, how you are perceiving it, right? So that
I wish that day comes when Ferrari just becomes another car. Moving on to so if that is what luxury is all about, and we have seen this trend of a whole lot of uptick in demand and supply of such properties happening over the last 2 to 3 years. Let's look at who are the consumers that we are talking about, which is the gentry that really is coming and investing in these projects. Let's go market-wise. Yukti, from an NCR point of view, 3 crore to 20 crore, of course, I think the new Trump tower is 35 crores. So, there's no end to that. Who is the gentry really that you have noticed that forms the bulk of this demand?
I think the largest market share is coming from business owners, of course. People their 50s, early 50s and late 50s who've been running their businesses for, say, 2 decades, 3 decades. And now they are my prime luxury buyers who are not only just doing it for an investment, but are also planning, rather considering moving out of their old large bungalows and moving into group housing, because we all know that's the future and that's where all the convenience lies, especially in cities like Noida. So that forms my larger chunk. But a very interesting market share has also been given for the first time in luxury to a lot of women business owners and women VPs. And I think that is a very wonderful change of trend that we are seeing, because real estate purchases were always sort of a man's decision and a man's investment. I'm very happy to see that we've seen a lot of that trend changing. I thought I would be the only one buying into my properties, but I see so many of my employees also jumping at the chances. All my colleagues, the women one, have at least 2 to 3 properties made. So I think they are also now moving out and making their own incomes other than what their husbands have already made, which is a very minute share right now, but I do see it growing in the coming 5 years.
That's interesting. Gunjan, in Pune specifically, what is the kind of gentry you see driving the demand for these units?
So while we do have, of course, the business owners, similar to what Yukti said, somewhere between their 40s, 50s, looking to, upgrade from their existing residences into larger spaces, more luxurious spaces. But for us, surprisingly, the dominance of the market for the last, I would say, 5-10 years have been the IT segment, because Pune is heavily dominated by the IT sector. So the double income, professionals where the husband and wife are both earning and doing really well, climbing up the ladder quickly. It's almost like a showcase of their status quo to buy into these luxury housing societies and show off that where they've come a long way, and these are easily between your 30 to 50-year age group, I would say.
Okay, I think Helen already mentioned that a whole lot of NRIs are driving demand in Chennai as it is. Yeah, so let's try to understand this slightly better. HNIs typically in India, as defined as Yukti mentioned or as Gunjan mentioned, are mostly businessmen who have done well and now they want to really reap the benefits of all the hard work that they have done, and they want to live a certain kind of life, and so on and so forth. But at the same point of time, professionals, IT professionals, as Gunjan said, who are at the probably top end of the ladder are the ones who are also wanting to explore this.
Yes.
Outside of yeah, and NRI has been a big market because we all know traditionally a whole lot of investments from US, UK, Singapore, and some related markets have been coming in India. I wanted to touch upon a slightly different thing. These are different consumer cohorts, right? I mean, a businessman and his kind of expectations from a luxury project versus a professional and his expectation versus a NRI and his expectation. Tell me, Helen, from an NRI perspective, what are the kind of expectations that you have seen that these consumers bring on board? What are the things they demand? What is it that takes to sell it to them?
So from an NRI's perspective, it would be mostly about ultra luxury, like having swimming pools with the privacy, inside their own homes, in their terrace, with private gardens. Because coming from another country, working there, and they want to get connected and they want to be free here. That is the ultimate idea of having a own house, right? So it all falls back to that. And these NRIs, they are not just coming into one age group. They might be individuals from, as Gunjan said, youngsters 30 to 50, as well as Yukti said, above 50. So they're all kinds of people. So they want to have a second home here in India, be it anywhere, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Cochin. So they prefer to have their own, safe haven with all the kind of automation that they are looking for. So that is the expectation of NRI clients mostly.
When it comes to business of luxury housing, then, right? And let me start with you, Yukti. Business of luxury housing, we have seen that this particular segment has been booming, demand has been growing up, supply has been growing up. But we have also noticed that supply has grown disproportionately more than the demand over there, right? So if you look at city after city, whether it's NCR, whether it's MMR, whether it's Hyderabad, whether it's Bengaluru, whether it's Pune or any other city, if you look at, the supply is more and more towards the premium luxury end that is coming, cashing on this. Are we also risking somewhere in a way oversupplying and therefore getting into some sort of a challenge there over a period of time?
There have been speculations around this subject quite a bit in the market that everybody is doing luxury. What will happen to the premium buyers, and luxury will reach its saturation. I sort of disagree with that. I feel like luxury is something that is always there. I mean, market volatility affects usually the middle segment in groups a lot more than it does the HNI segment. That's why the luxury purchases, be it your luxury goods of LVs and Gucci's and Rolexes, or be it the wedding business, which is the most expensive in North India nowadays, nothing changes here. No inflation or recession can kind of it doesn't impact it that badly. Of course, there's a slowdown, but we human beings, we have such short-term memories that we are able to pick up instantly where we left off the second the turmoil goes away. So, with that being said, I think luxury is here to stay. And speaking specifically for the Noida region, Noida is seeing a luxury demand after a pent-up demand of 20 years. I mean, so many developers have come and tried to bring luxury to Noida, but for one reason or another, it was never able to, see the light of the day. Finally, Noida is at a place where not only the demand, but even the supply is moving together. If people are making, there are people buying it, and vice versa. So I see this trend lasting for another 4-5 years at least. In my only in my opinion, I'm not reading the reports here. But I also see another, because of the speculation, I see a lot of developers have already started falling into premium housing or slightly mid-segment groups, the 1 to 2 crore ticket size. I don't think there's an oversupply of luxury. I think the hype is a lot more than the supply is, which is also on its correction mode. But I very strongly believe that luxury market is less impacted by the market volatility.
We have also noticed that obviously because of the robust demand, while supply has been consistent as well, but prices have started moving up even in the luxury segment. And in some other panel discussion, a point came out that a lot of Indian cities and real estate micro markets now have started discovering their real price. In a way that we had been underselling, and the real price discovery has started now, right? So Gunjan, from your perspective, this entire price discovery bit, right, and markets therefore discovering a new price point, a new high price point, and that becoming the norm of the day, and that's sustaining over a period of time. How do you see this trend evolving then?
Like you rightly said, I think the common consensus is that we had been underselling for the last couple of years, and finally the market has seen the price correction that was required in the luxury segment specifically. Again, talking about Pune, it's only been, I would say, a year and a half since we've seen this price correction where property prices have, increased from I would say anywhere between 30 to even 45% in certain micro markets, which of course was a huge leap and a bit of a sudden leap for the market to absorb right away. And that did cause a quarter of a slowdown for us. I believe like Q3 in 2024 saw that bit of a hit when it came to sales. But I think very quickly the market did realize and absorb this rate, because it's only going upwards from here. There's no looking back. And the ones who are in this luxury buying segment know that, if they don't get their hands on it now, it's probably going to be even, late for them to then have to deal with even higher pricing. Because from where I see, Pune still has a scope of about a 10 to 20% price inflation that we can see in the coming year. And that's probably why the right time to buy is now, and people are jumping back into the market. The fence sitters are coming back and putting down the bucks and investing with us.
Good news for you all the way.
Add something here, if I can.
Please.
We talked about the underselling bit, and I want to add to what you said, Gunjan. See, I've been working at Gulshan for the last 11 years, and this company has been working for the last 35 years. For the last 15 years, at least before COVID, we had not seen a price higher than 5,000 rupees a square feet. That is a lot to say about the market and how it was going. To which where we are now. I mean, now there are prices of 5,000-6,000 also, but there are prices of 15,000-16,000 also. It brings you a bigger a bouquet of products as opposed to just one kind of product in the market. So I don't think that this is an inflated price rise. This is a much needed price correction, which Gunjan just said.
Much needed to absorb the inflation that we have been dealing with, the construction costs. So
look at the cost of the cement. I mean, come on.
All right, that's another story altogether. So Ashutosh, this entire price trend and price moving northwards consistently for past 12 quarters at least. कहीं जाकर रुकेगा, or is this just a space ride that we want to take?
I'll take you a little bit back. Like, we are from business fraternity, right? Business depends upon the trust value, right? So if somebody is putting money in the market, investor, HNIs, and the business owners are putting money in the market, they know that it is going for another few quarters. If like I'm saying, if you got us not,
so ROI is going to come.
Definitely. If some property is trading as of 10,000 rupees per square feet in Noida, it is prone to go to 20,000 rupees. It is prone to, and it is like it will not stop there as well, right? We'll see the growth factor is like that every like demand we were talking about, that who are the buyers, right? So it was well categorized by the panelists. Buyers are like HNIs are there, as said by them, and the business owners, entrepreneurs, which you say is there, and the existing business owners, जिनके legends है, जिनकी दूसरी या तीसरी पीढ़ी आ गई है, right? So considering those as well, the existing one, जिनका दूसरा तीसरा पीढ़ी मैंने बोला आपसे, they are switching from their existing properties. They are living in a 1,000 square yard property, and it is not up to the mark of the standard of their children. And the other factor is they are not secure over there, right? So they need a whole lot of security, and it is not available in their 1,000 square yard because they can put 10, 15 security personnel.
That's an interesting.
That's a different thing. And if we talk about the HNIs are like have already lived the different thing. They are living in a developing countries, so they have witnessed the growth over there. They have witnessed the advancement over there. If they are investing in India, they need same level of advancement over here.
Yes.
So that is the valid reason why they are going for a property which is all the bells and whistles, right? And it comes at a cost, and that is a luxury version of the living. So it is like, it is outright, it is not to worry about that it will like going to stay or it will be stagnant kind of thing. It will be going on, I believe, for the next 3-4 years at least.
There are different consumer cohorts. Each of them have different needs to get into it, and therefore that will keep sustaining, right? Let's now try to peep a bit into future, and let's just try to see how luxury is going to evolve from here, right? Price discovery has happened. There's sustainability around that. We are all talking about technology coming into play. We are talking about exclusivity coming into play. We are talking about new design ideas coming into play. We are talking about community coming into play, community creation coming into play, right? Let's start with you, Neha. What do you think luxury housing in India will evolve to in 3 to 5 years? What is it that we're going to see which will be very, very different, which is not there today?
I in fact say the traction of what is going to be in the future has already started seeing them in the Indian market. When we see there are two kind of developments that we see on the holistic level of the Indian market. One is that of the permanent houses, which is in the urban cities, which is nearby, which is more led by the infrastructure development or which is nearby to their workspaces, or which is for their day-to-day daily lifestyles. So there is one surge into that kind of segment, which is on the uber luxury side. And there is another segment which is surging, which I feel is quite a big potential market, is that of the weekend homes, is that of the vacations homes, where these are cash rich uh, buyers, and they want to invest in something more where they can have good return on investment, apart from they're having the wellness within the property when they want to spend their weekends away from their day-to-day routine life, and they want to have some of the property which they will enjoy as a sanctuary or as a retreat for them. So which I feel is very very upcoming market. And if I see the tractions has already started being visible in the areas like Goa or Alibag, or that of we talk about Kasoli. So recently, I've noticed that there is 100 acres property which is coming, which has been bought by Lodhas in Alibag, just at the proximity of that coastal line. And this is quite a talk of the town. I mean, everywhere the people are just waiting for this to get built up, and they want to invest their cash riches in these kind of properties, which I feel is very upcoming market.
Okay. Helen, one of the trends of luxury market is also branded residences, right? And I gave the example of Trump, for example, right? How do you see, in your opinion, branded residences growing in various markets of India?
Branded residences, according to me, it's nowadays there is a recent trend, an amalgamation of a branded layout, mostly in the south, like in Bangalore and Devanalli, in the northern airport areas, and Gachibowli in Hyderabad, and ECR in Chennai. So all these cities, they concentrate on layouts, as they call them, as a gated community, each with multiple amenities, like a common sewage treatment plant, a proper, laid roads with multiple parks inside. Okay, so it gives a complete community living along with the space for your own, where you can build in your own style. So I have personally met around like 500, 600 customers in the last 1 year alone, who are targeting this kind of a living experience. So, and people who are able to buy more than 2 grounds of property. So they will all have the similar kind of an attitude, similar kind of, luxury expectations. So they all gathered together, and, they all live together very easily in these communities. Though they are, living in their own house, it's inside a part of a community living. So that is the norm. Especially new business owners nowadays, they all expect that kind of privacy along with community living. This is the new.
Okay. All right. Yukti, you spoke about experiences, right? You said luxury is not only about investing in a costly house, but it's also about the experience of investment, right? How what kind of experience you've gone through in the process. What is it that you would define as an absolute luxurious experience of buying for a consumer?
Okay. So I'll speak purely from a North Indian point of view, because that's where I'm sitting in.
So that will be very, very different from a South Indian or a West Indian perspective.
Absolutely. So please pardon my ignorance there. But I believe that North India is a very shocking market, if I can say it right. So, and we're all food lovers. So what we did differently, well, when we came up with our first luxury project, which is Gulshan Dynasty, we inbuilt a 5-star kitchen in our sales office. And not just that, we also added some hydroponically grown vegetables and leaves and everything. So because Dynasty is a wellness home, every touch point was reminding us that this is a wellness home. So when you're watching the film, the project movie or something, the AV, you're served with a very fresh watermelon juice or something, and then when you move into the sample apartment, there comes salad which is freshly grown at the place that you are standing hydroponically. So all of these touch points are getting you a little into what we have done while designing the product. It's very similar to the experience you feel when you go to your showroom and you buy a bag. Uh, a, 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 a Zara or an H&M would be just like, "Ha, leather bag hai, le lo," whereas a Dior would be like, "This is made from a special leather of this particular lamb, and his skin was converted into, the storytelling."
Unique, differentiated experiences is what you're putting in.
Pretty much, be it food, be it the ambience, be it the music, be it the fact that there is, well, no rush when you walk in, be it the fact that it's by appointment only and you will not see anybody, hampering your experience or watching over your experience. And that is the sale experience, right? Now you've purchased the property. What happens next? यहाँ पे लोग बहुत रोते हैं कि एक बार ही पैसे ले ले तो बिल्डर गायब हो जाता है. So you have to be in touch with them. You have to keep talking to them. You have to keep wishing them birthdays and anniversaries and keep, for example, after the first year of our sale, there was a wonderful mango season in the summer, and we sent a box of mangoes to all our customers. It's not costly. It's just a thought that counts. कितने महंगे होते हैं 2 किलो आम. So it's about staying connected with them, and then once they're brought in with the property, they are with you, they are living in the house. Of course, हाथ से बनाई हुई चीज में दिक्कत तो आती है. You tend to have certain flaws. कभी कहीं पे लाइट खराब हो जाता है, कहीं कहीं का skirting off हो रहा होता है. There are issues in a man-made product anywhere in the world that you go. So just the fact that you're standing there with them, hearing their problems and assuring them that it will be solved by us. I think that in itself is a luxury experience for them. I also mentioned something about the registry's office. I mean, चाहे आप 10 करोड़ का घर खरीदो 100 करोड़ का, registry office तो same ही है, and you will be facing the same pain of a government office that you go there. We are trying to fix that also. So our team is there waiting, making sure that our customer only arrives when it's just their turn to go in, and uske baad wo ink wink se, there's a stamp that has to happen. So our team is waiting with a wet tissue and everything. So it's just very small things to remind you that you are not buying an affordable house. You're buying with a luxury developer, and every touch point is going to remind you of that, even if you're sitting in a government office.
Helen, you deal with NRI customers. Of course, you can't feed them. They are all in a different country, right? And what are the kind of different things you do to really give them a luxurious experience of buying?
Yeah, so NRI customers are just a part of a percentage, and this year it increased. So I had mentioned the NRIs, but other than that, we have so many customers who walk into our office and feel it's like a house. That kind of a special a touch is being given here. So we have high profile customers who are given, we have something called DPOC, or a design point of contact. So since their house is being right designed in front of them, all in DJOs, we have customers who compare their house elevation with the neighbors, so they are like, how unique does my house look? Because it's a status symbol to me, so that is the kind of depth that they are looking for, and we give them. So we have multiple points of contacts for them. So a design point of contact, and during the execution, there is an execution point of contact. So he's going to guide them throughout the 10 months or 12 months process, throughout the execution, right from the Bhumi Puja. We have bricklaying ceremony, and we have multiple ceremonies in between, and it ends in the housewarming ceremony, wherein the entire team goes together as a group and wishes the couple and wishes the family. And we also give return gifts, like very, very special, expensive ones. So yes, that is the kind of personalized touch that we're giving to all our customers.
So towards the end, we'll have a bit of a rapid fire. So I'll come to each of you. Ashutosh, let me start with you then. We have seen that definition of luxury has been a dynamic thing, right? It has been different and it has been changing. Yes. What do you think will be absolute cutoff, say 2 years from now, when it comes to defining luxury housing? Anything below that will not be luxury.
Not in near time. Not in near time.
You don't think? Okay.
I don't think.
But I need a cutoff, yeah? 5 crore, 7 crore, 10 crores, whatever you think will be cutoff, right? Yukti?
10.
10? Okay. Gunjan?
I think space and pricing.
Both. Okay. Would you give a number? to price?
That sky's the limit. I mean, it all depends on how much.
Talk about minimum cutoff, not the maximum, minimum cutoff.
Minimum cutoff, I would say, would probably shift to at least 2 crore onwards.
Okay, that's quite a different perspective between NCR and Pune. Okay, Helen?
Yeah. So the market is very good now. See, even today when we are hearing news about war and all that, our Indian market economy is very good. So I would say anywhere between 4 to 8 crores. So that will be the luxury cutoff.
That's a range, by the way. Okay, Neha, what will be your cutoff?
I think my number will be similar to theirs. It will somewhere around 5 crores.
Okay, all right. The second question would be luxury at this point of time accounts for about 12 to 15% of overall demand. 5 years down the line, what percentage of total demand will be luxury? Yukti?
What did you say the percentage is right now?
12 to 15.
12 to 15. I'd say it'll stay that much.
Okay. Gunjan?
I would see it leaping to at least 20%, given how the country is headed and the GDP growth that we're looking at.
Okay. Helen?
Yeah, I would like to second Gunjan. Because over the number of inquiries that we have received in the past 1 year, it is doubled and tripled actually. So there is a rise in the number of HNIs in our country. And obviously the GDP share is also it's growing. So I would say anywhere between 20 to 25%.
Okay. Okay. Neha?
So even I would say, like, with the massive upgrades in the infrastructure, and we nowhere see that even many MNCs are coming up, and which is surging to the demands of these HNIs and the people who are related to ITs and fintechs. So I believe there will be a lot of surge going further, somewhere between 20 to 25%.
Okay, well done. Ashutosh?
Well, I believe that there will be surge in like every aspect or every category of the property. So I believe it would be somewhere around 18 to 20% at least.
Okay, all right. So, viewers, about 20% of the total demand is going to be for luxury housing. That's how fast we are progressing as a country and as an industry. We heard that luxury housing is here to stay. It's not a short-term phenomena. And the demand and supply both are going to remain robust. The time to invest is now because prices are moving northwards and appreciation is expected. ROI is going to improve. So that's the story of luxury housing. It's merry all around, right? On this note, thank you very much for watching the property show on MBTV, world's largest real estate channel. We'll keep coming to you with such meaningful and informative shows. Keep watching MBTV and don't forget to like, share, and comment.